Thousands fired in U.S. government as Trump must purge federal workers. The U.S. government began firing thousands of people at multiple agencies on Thursday as President Donald Trump and Elon Musk accelerate their purge of America's federal bureaucracy, union sources and employees familiar with the moves told Reuters. The Department of Veterans Affairs, which provides health care for veterans, said it had let go more than 1,000 employees who were in their probationary period, while the U.S. Forest Service was set to fire more than 3,000. Termination emails have been sent in the past 48 hours to workers across the government, mostly recently hired employees still on probation, at agencies such as the Department of Education, the Small Business Administration, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and the General Services Administration, which manages many federal buildings. Trump and Tesla, TSLAO, opens new tab. CEO Musk's overhaul of the federal government appeared to be widening as Musk aides arrived for the first time at the federal tax-collecting agency. The Internal Revenue Service and U.S. embassies were told to prepare for staff cuts. Trump has defended the effort, saying the federal government is too bloated and that too much money is lost to waste and fraud. The federal government has some $36 trillion in debt and ran a $1.8 trillion deficit last year, and there is bipartisan agreement on the need for government reform. But critics have questioned the blunt force approach of Musk, who has amassed extraordinary influence in Trump's presidency. According to government data, about 280,000 civilian government workers were hired less than 2 years ago, with most still on probation, which makes them easier to terminate. But firings at the U.S. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau appeared to be going beyond probationary employees. Notices went to dozens of term employees, full-time workers who have contracts with end dates, said sources who requested anonymity to avoid any reprisal. Those firings come after the Consumer Protection Agency on Tuesday terminated as many as 70 probationary staff members. Meanwhile, the U.S. Forest Service was set to fire 3,400 probationary employees at all levels of the agency, Politico reported, citing sources who noted that firefighters would be exempted. In a statement, the Department of Veterans Affairs said the firings will save the department more than $98 million per year, and VA will redirect all of those resources back toward health care, benefits, and services for VA beneficiaries. All probationary staff at the Office of Personnel Management, the human resources arm for the U.S. government, were fired in a group call on Thursday and told to leave the agency's headquarters in Washington, two sources said. OPM officials also met with other government agencies on Thursday and advised them to lay off their probationary employees, with some exceptions, according to a person familiar with the matter. Even as the firings commenced, a group of 14 states filed a federal lawsuit in Washington alleging that Trump appointed Musk illegally, giving him unchecked legal authority without authorization from the U.S. Congress. Most civil service employees can be fired legally only for bad performance or misconduct, and they have a host of due process and appeal rights if they are let go arbitrarily. The probationary employees primarily targeted in Thursday's wave have fewer legal protections. The agency finds that you are not fit for continued employment because your ability, knowledge, and skills do not fit the current needs, and your performance has not been adequate to justify further employment with the agency. Letters sent to at least 45 probationers at the SBA stated. Reuters has seen a copy of the termination letter. Letters to at least 160 recent hires at the Department of Education, also seen by Reuters, told them that their continued employment would not be in the public interest. Trump, a Republican serving his second term, on Wednesday reiterated his desire to close the Department of Education. About 100 probationary employees received termination letters on Wednesday at the GSA, according to two people familiar with the firings. One GSA employee, who said he had 1 month left until his probation period ended and had been receiving excellent performance reviews, was told this week he will be fired on Friday. Up until 2 weeks ago, this was an absolute dream job. Now it's become an absolute nightmare because of what is going on. I have small children and a mortgage to pay, the worker told Reuters.